Today I want to talk about Indiana Jones again. Now, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is due out next month. It hasn't been given a glowing response by critics, and most fans of Indiana Jones don't recognise the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as a film, and definitely didn't want a fifth film. But this is where we're at. Lucasfilm has spent nearly $300 million to make this film, and I don't think it's going to make its money back. But now they are once again discussing moving forward with the Indiana Jones franchise as a TV show, which obviously it's by Disney, so it will be on Disney Plus. But I don't think Disney should do this, not only because Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford is just completely wrong and ridiculous. I know back in the 90s we got the Young Indiana Jones TV show with Sean Patrick Flannery playing a young Indiana Jones. But I don't think after the Crystal Skull and this new Dial of Destiny, I don't think a new TV show would go down well, especially with Harrison Ford not coming back. And strangely enough, it's a TV show without Phoebe Waller-Bridge, which is what I assumed the TV show would be about. I assumed it would be about her character. But it's the only franchise left that Lucasfilm hasn't completely run to the ground by now. Star Wars has managed to split the fan base, have diminishing returns at the box office, and has become that irrelevant on Disney Plus that Andor was by all accounts a fantastic series, but nobody turned up to watch it because nobody cares anymore. Willow was a good 80s film, and the series which they did was so good it's now being removed completely from Disney Plus because nobody watches it. So Lucasfilm's track record under Kathleen Kennedy isn't superb, and I think this is going to go exactly the same way. I think Dial of Destiny is going to be a bad movie, and if they do move ahead with the TV show, first of all I will be very surprised, especially if this movie does bomb, and secondly it'll be done in a way where it runs the franchise into the ground. But this article here is on Screen Rant. Indiana Jones can continue without Harrison Ford, Lucasfilm boss teases franchise future. The Indiana Jones franchise could continue without Harrison Ford after the Dial of Destiny, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy suggests. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy suggests the Indiana Jones franchise could continue without its lead star. Harrison Ford is returning for a fifth and final adventure in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which finds the archaeologist teaming up with his goddaughter, Helena Shaw, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, to find the eponymous artifact before it falls into the hands of former Nazi Jürgen Voller, Mads Mikkelsen. While promoting the fifth film, Ford has been adamant that this will be his final portrayal of Indiana Jones, and Disney have even called it the end of the entire franchise. Which it should be. The end of the entire franchise should have stayed with The Last Crusade. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull didn't need to be made, and this Dial of Destiny certainly didn't need to be made. Now, after Disney CEO Bob Iger walked back that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny being the end of the franchise, Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy is following suit. Appearing on Dagobah Dispatch, an EW Star Wars podcast, Kennedy hinted that the Indiana Jones franchise could continue without Ford after the Dial of Destiny. The Lucasfilm president said the franchise's future might be in series television, although she and her fellow producer Steven Spielberg agree that Indiana Jones should not be recast. Which he shouldn't. He is one of those iconic roles that shouldn't be recast. No one's going to be able to step into the role of Indiana Jones and play him as good as what Harrison Ford has. Sure, down the line, I'm certain it will be remade in 30-40 years' time, and somebody else will play Indiana Jones then. But for the time being, Harrison Ford in that role is irreplaceable. It's Harrison's last entry and how we look at the Indy franchise. I mean, truthfully, right now, if we were to do anything, it might be in series television down the road, but we're not doing anything to replace Indiana Jones. That's it. There are 5 movies that Harrison Ford did, and Harrison is so specific and so unique to creating this role, Steven Spielberg agrees, we just couldn't do that. The conflicting information on the future of Indiana Jones franchise seems like a classic case of its lead star, Ford wanting to hang up his bullwhip and fedora after 5 installments. I mean, the man is 80 years old now. There's no way he's going to be able to continue doing the role he's doing in Indiana Jones. I think this is one movie too far for him. He was in his 60s in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and that wasn't a great movie. Filming this in his late 70s must have been really hard on him. So, I fully understand him wanting to hang up the bullwhip and fedora. Like I say, he's 80 now, and it's not a role he's going to be able to continue to play. So executives like Iger and Kennedy aren't too keen on letting the lucrative IP end here. Kennedy's comment about the franchise having a future in series television is in line with the report that Lucasfilm is developing an Indiana Jones TV show for Disney+. However, the series won't focus on Indy or Helena, according to James Marigold. Everything else that Kathleen Kennedy has done, such as Star Wars, which was possibly the most lucrative IP out there at one point, has absolutely been run into the ground. So what on earth makes them think they can do anything different with Indiana Jones? It's had 3 great movies, 1 very subpar movie, and this film also looks set to be another subpar movie. So there's no faith from anyone that an Indiana Jones series without, or even with, Harrison Ford would be anything different other than an absolute car crash. I just don't think Kathleen Kennedy is the right person to be running Lucasfilm, but for whatever reason, Lucasfilm will not fire the woman. Anyone else would have been sacked from the position a long time ago, but it just seems like they won't get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. At this point in time, you've got to start wondering what she's got on the people above her to make her position so unfireable. Ford seems set on the Dial of Destiny being his final portrayal of Indiana Jones, claiming it ends the franchise not with a whimper but with a bang. However, following its premiere at Cannes, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny reviews have resulted in the series' worst Rotten Tomatoes score, suggesting it may actually end with a whimper. Disney and Lucasfilm will likely wait until the 5th Indiana Jones film is released on June 30th to make a final decision on the future. But if it's another financial success, the franchise will likely find a way to continue. And this is what it's going to come down to, I think. If the film does good at the box office, they will decide to go ahead to make this new TV show. But if it doesn't do well at the box office, which I don't think it will, personally, I could be wrong, it could, but I do think it will struggle, especially with that $300 million budget. I think then that this idea will just get kicked to the side, at least put on hold for a few years. Like I say, an Indiana Jones series without Harrison Ford has no interest for a lot of people. An Indiana Jones series with Harrison Ford at this point in time, with how old he is, doesn't have a lot of interest for people. An Indiana Jones series after what is 1 bad film and looks set to be 2 bad films, nobody has interest in that either. Kathleen Kennedy needs to start looking at other options. They've used all the Lucasfilm's IPs now. She needs to start making something new or different, or handing the reins over to someone a lot more competent than what she is. But what do you guys think? Do you think this TV series will go ahead? Do you think it will get cancelled if the Dial of Destiny bombs at the box office? Do let me know in the comments below. That's all from me. I want to make a fresh cup of tea.